go. How would you fancy taking home an Iowa MP3 player or this Jeep jacket, modelled by Andrea here? Plus, we've got these micro map holders to give away, courtesy of minimap.co.uk. How do they work? Look at this. So there's a credit card size map, look through the viewer, and there's Stoke-on-Trent. And we've got more T-shirts from GrandPrixLegends.com. So let's play Asking Price. So let's just recap. The cars we show you are genuinely for sale, and we're going to ask our contestants to guess what the asking price is. There's a point for the person whose guess is the closest. That becomes 2 points if they're within £50. And we give 3 points for a direct hit. And of course, if two people make the same guess, they both get the same number of points. OK, with us tonight, Andrea Jones. Andrea works for a car repairer. Paul, you work for a Mercedes dealership, and Chris used to be an accountant in the motor trade, now owns an automotive website. Welcome to all of you. Let's go straight into the game, and we're off to see what Brendan has found this week.
This is a nice little runaround for somebody. It's a thoroughly inoffensive Renault Clio 1.25 door. It's a 1997 R-Reg, and it's a base model, which you can probably tell by the plastic bumpers. So it's not got masses of kit, but it will be reliable and fairly practical. It's not going to set your world alight with its blistering performance or make you swoon over its gorgeous styling, but it will get you from A to B with minimum fuss. So how much will you have to pay for fuss-free motoring? What's the asking price?
There you go. What's the asking price? New look Renault Clio with that funny rear end with the bulbous window. Start writing, start thinking about it. Very popular car, very easy for the dealership to sell. 5 doors on a 97 plate, so 1.2, lots of appeal. And you would have thought the dealership would have that, it wouldn't be on the forecourt for very long, I would have thought. So, Andrea, a cheap car to run, is it a cheap car to repair?
It can be. Depends how hard it's been hit.
It depends how hard it's been hit. All right, what do you value it at?
£4,500.
£4,500. Paul, somebody's come into the Mercedes dealership. He wants a new S-Class. What will you give him for his old Renault Clio?
I value the Clio at £2,995.
£2,995. And Chris, what would it appear on your website at?
£4,595.
£4,595. OK, let's go down the dealership, see what the car's worth.
So, this nifty little runaround will cost you £4,995.
There you go, £4,995. Chris, well done, very close, give you the point. And, of course, Renault Clio, I mean, you could sell that to anybody, really. Very popular car. Let's try another round. This time we're looking at supercars, something completely different. Let's join Glenda.
On a crisp, sunny winter's day, what better than to wrap yourself head to toe in fur, or as much as you can afford, and take a wonderful ride out in your lovely Bentley Azure. This car has quite an interesting history, as it used to belong to F1 Supremo Mr. Bernie Eccleston. But he obviously didn't like it very much, as he only did 2,800 miles in it. But maybe even he couldn't afford the fuel bill, as it has a whopping 6.75 litre engine. So how much is it going to cost me to drive around in such luxury? What is the asking price?
Beautiful Bentley Azure convertible, and I can tell you Bernie Eccleston certainly can afford the fuel, so start writing and thinking, how much will that be? Top of the range, Bentley Azure, it's only done 2,800 miles. The convertible is a huge amount of money over the standard car. Very expensive, beautiful white car, leather interior, looks fantastic. What do they want for it? I can't imagine. So that Bentley pulls up on your forecourt, Paul. What are you going to offer for it?
£65,000.
£65,000. It looks like a lot of car for that money. Chris, on your website, you've got a beautiful Bentley. What's it advertised at?
About £120,000.
£120,000, so that's almost double. Andrea, if you had to repair that, what's the base price of it?
About £77,000.
£77,000. I should think Bentley panels are quite expensive. Quite expensive. OK, let's see what they wanted for that car.
This car will cost you a measly £130,000. Home, James, and don't spare the horses. James? James?
James, where's James gone? James is nowhere to be seen, but the price tag was £130,000. So, Chris, once again, very close. 120,000 you said. You get the point. Very well done. And an absolutely stunning car with an engine not of British origin, I suspect. But there you go. How sad. Third round is with Lynn. My favourite features classic cars. Let's have a look at this.
It's a 1973 Ferrari Dino 246. The style was designed by Sergio Pininfarina. That is Enzo Ferrari's favourite coach builder and probably one of the most famous car designers ever. And you know what? He's still designing Ferraris to this day. Most Ferraris of the day had contained V12 engines, but this model has a 2.4 litre 4-cam V6 engine, and hence the model of car is named after Enzo Ferrari's son Dino, who designed the V6 and who died at a very early age. Sad but true. So, thanks to young Dino, another Ferrari legend took shape. Christopher Goffey, how much will you give me for my Italian beauty?
I personally won't give you anything for that because I don't like them that much, but start writing, start thinking. An absolutely pristine Ferrari Dino there, in very good shape. It's just been freshly restored. It's absolutely immaculate. The engine bay looked fantastic to me. Think about it. Very rare car and eminently collectible. Time's up. Chris, fancy a Ferrari Dino?
Personally, it's my favourite car.
Your favourite car?
Favourite car.
So how do you value your favourite car?
44,995.
That's terribly precise. You've been studying the magazines avidly. All right. Andrea, what about a Ferrari Dino?
34,000.
See those in the workshops very often?
Not very often.
Have you got people in who can hand beat aluminium?
Yep.
Oh, well, you do. Take it back. Paul, what's a Ferrari Dino worth?
I guessed that's 60,000.
About 60,000. That's actually a very, very nice one as well, I have to say. So let's see what the classic car dealership wanted for it.
Well, Chris, to get your hands on my sexy piece of kit, it's going to cost you £50,000.
£50,000, a very fair price, actually, for that particular car. So, once again, yeah, Chris, you're the closest. We'll give you the point. Let's take a look at the scores so far. And Andrea, yet to score, but doing very well. Paul, yet to score, but doing very well. And Chris, 3 points, so very well done to you. Now on to our quick fire round. We'll be revealing pictures of cars slowly, and you buzz when you think you can guess within £1,000 of the list value of the car. Points go down as time moves on, and you only get one chance each to guess. Here's the first car. 5 points on offer. What is it? Buzz when you think. Chris?
It's a Seat Leon.
How much is it worth?
£14,000.
Yeah, take that. It's a 1.9 TDISE, £14,650. Let's look at the next car. Buzz when you know. Chris again. What is it?
It's an Audi A6.
How much?
£20,000.
You're out. Between Paul and Andrea, what is it? What's it worth? 4 points on offer.
It's an Audi
Paul?
A6, £26,000.
Yeah, the price is right. I'll give you that. But it's actually an A4 Avant Quattro, 3 litre, £25,970. And let's take the last one. A bit more difficult, that. What is it?
It's the new Fiat Stilo.
How much?
£13,500.
You're out. So, Paul and Andrea, how much is this car worth? What is it?
It is the new Fiat, and that car would be £14,500.
And you're out. Andrea? Buzz when you know.
The Fiat, 12,000.
No, you're all shotgun scattering around it. In fact, Fiat want £10,835 for that car. So, here's the fun one to keep you guessing over the break. We've got a multiple signed 1960 British Grand Prix programme, an original from Silverstone. There aren't many of those, I'll tell you. The signatures include Bruce McLaren, Graham Hill, Jack Fairman, John Surtees. Join us after the break to find out exactly what it's worth. So, the signed programme from the 1960 British Grand Prix. If you wanted to own it, you would need to find £1,250, which seems quite a lot for, 40-year-old piece of paper, but just think about the signatures on it. OK, on with the game now. We're going down the auctions, ladies and gentlemen. Bear in mind, a wet auction, it's the guys in the sheepskin jackets. They're all standing round. What's the lowest bid that they would make on this car?
We've been to the auction again to see what we can find. And remember, in this round, we're looking for the price that the car went under the hammer for, the auction selling price. And here it is, a little Fiat Panda. It's a Bianca. Registered in August 1988 on an F plate, the poor little thing has done 107,000 miles. Bumpers are nearly falling off, there's rust around it. And they're trying to keep the roof on with gaffer tape. Not so good, really. There's rust around the bottoms of the door, but maybe someone would want to take it home and see if they can patch it up. You never know. So how much do you think the buyers were prepared to stump up for this one?
Oh, well, there you go. So, pretty rough Fiat Panda down there. Start writing and thinking about it. The guys are standing around at the auction hall, I suspect deeply unimpressed by a Fiat Panda Bianca. And on an F plate, it's done 105,000 miles. You'd be quite surprised to find it physically capable of doing the last 10 of those, but there you go. And it's going through the auction hall. Time's up. Andrea, how much do you think you'd have to pay somebody to take that away for you?
About £25.
£25. You'd pay or they'd pay?
They'd have to pay.
They'd have to pay you to take it away. All right, you say it's worth £25. Paul, it arrives on your forecourt. Deeply impressed by it?
Absolutely, if it made it there, £50.
50 quid. And Chris, would it be even worth putting it on your website?
Not at all, but probably about £75.
£75? Well, you're
Feeling
up in
generous.
the stratosphere to bid for that. So let's see what the gentleman of the trade thought when it came up down the hall.
All done. At £40 it goes once. At £40 it goes twice. Third last all done from the main agent at £40. At £40. Thank you. Next time.
I'm intrigued to know whether it actually drove out of the auction hall or had to be pushed. So, Paul, you're the closest, 50 quid. You obviously have a very good knowledge of bangers.
I do
Used to be an
indeed.
old trade saying, never let the sun go down on a banger. Have you heard that one?
I've never heard that one before, no.
Get it off the forecourt quick. But it's not the sort of car you'd have on display, really, is it?
No, not really, no.
Not really,
No.
It would let down the tone of the dealership a bit.
Certainly would, yes.
OK, on to our next round. Private sellers. Let's see what Lynn has found.
Hiya, Chucky Egg. Have you come to see the car? Would you like a cup of tea first? No, OK, let's crack on then. Well, it's my little Vauxhall Corsa Expression Royal Blue, and it is my pride and joy. I've had it since new, summer 2001. It's got a lovely nippy 1.0 litre engine, and it's only done 9,165.25 miles. Can you believe it? Bet you're wondering why I'm selling such a nice little runaround. Well, let me let you into a little secret. It served me well, this car, for popping down the shop on pension day. But whilst I'm still in my prime, I thought I'd treat myself to a racy little number, something a bit more me. I've not told our Harold yet, but we had a win down at the bingo on Thursday night. Me and Ida, we've split the winnings. Housey. So, I'm going to buy myself a racy little number. I might buy myself a Vauxhall Nova, one of those bad boy racer cars. Wicked, as my grandson would say. Right, young man, come on then. There's just one more thing we need to talk about, and that's the price.
That's Oscar-winning performance there. Start thinking about it, start writing. A private owner wants to sell a perfect Vauxhall Corsa 2001. easy car to sell in the trade. It would go very quickly. Only done just under 10,000 miles. Economical, cheap to repair, Andrea, I would have thought. Very attractive. Time's up. Paul, it rolls onto your forecourt. Yet another car there. What are you going to give me for a very nice Vauxhall Corsa?
I would have thought 7,800.
So, I mean, that's the sort of car somebody would trade in against an A-Series, so you've got a good idea of that sort of price.
I should have, yes. We shall wait and see.
Chris, same thing for you. What's the car worth?
About £6,500.
6.5, bearing in mind that private sellers sometimes, pitch them a bit high. Andrea?
About 7,000.
7,000. All right, let's see what that Oscar-winning actress wanted for the car.
So, young man, are you interested in my little Corsa then, or what? I'm asking £6,075 for it, and I'll even chuck in the fluffy dice. Tell you what, you have a think about it, and I'll stick the kettle on and give you a chocolate finger. Ooh.
Ooh, there you go. She doesn't really talk like that, surely. So, there you are. She wanted £6,075 for it. That's a genuine advert we found. So, Chris, yes, you're closest again. Give you the point on that. And a final chance to reverse the whole order of the proceedings, our second quickfire round. Points go down as more information is revealed. Fingers on buzzers, please. Let's look at the first picture. Tell me what it is, soon as you've got an idea. Paul.
Volkswagen Lupo.
And what's it selling for?
£8,500.
You're out. Andrea and Chris, what is it? Tell me what it's selling for.
Lupo, 7,500.
7,500, not close enough. And Chris?
Lupo, 8,500.
Well, you're all out, I'm afraid, because if you'd seen more of it, you'd know that it was the VW Lupo, but it's the GTI, which actually comes in at a staggering £12,980. Would anybody actually pay that much for a Lupo, I ask myself. Let's look for the next picture. Quite an easy one. Paul?
Jaguar.
Yeah.
£29,000.
Well, not close enough, but you'll kick yourself when you see more of it.
It's the Jaguar XK8, £32,000.
Not close enough. Andrea?
The Jaguar, 36,000.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Well done. It's the XJ Sport 3.2 V8, and Jaguar want £35,950 for that car. Let's look at another one. More difficult, this one. Looks exactly like every other car on the road. Chris?
Toyota Avensis, 11,995.
Well done, but you're not close enough. Down to these two.
Toyota Avensis, 14,000.
Yes, I'll give you that. It's the Toyota Avensis Estate 1.8 GS VVTi, £14,980. Well done. OK, so let's go and see how that affects the final score. And Andrea, you're on 3 points. Very well done. You were very close on a number of occasions and good on identification. Chris, 8 points, no less than I would expect with somebody running a website on cars. And Paul, at the last minute, you pulled up and overtook and you finished on 9 points. So congratulations. That means Paul's through to our final payoff round. But before we do that, I need to give out the prizes we have for everybody and those micro map holders and the Grand Prix T-shirts. The micromap holders, £20 each they're worth, and those super Grand Prix T-shirts, they're worth 20 quid. So, Paul is through to our final payoff round, and we're going to show him just one more car. Now, if he can get within £2,000 either side of this car's asking price, well, he wins the VIP circuit tickets in addition to what you've got already. OK, so you could ask the other two for their advice. You've got two highly qualified people either side of you. Do you trust them to be truthful? That's the only thing. Are you ready? Here we go. Look at this car.
Being a sales rep is like belonging to a club with an unwritten code of conduct, and they all know the difference between their cars, the LS and the GLS, just by the colour or the alloys on it. But like the self-help group at my STD clinic, it's a club I don't want to belong to. But Reps cars can still represent brilliant value for money. Because, as we've said before and we'll say it again, most of these rep fleet cars are driven long distances up and down the motorways. This Vectra 2.2 CDX has got 18,000 miles on the clock, reasonable. It was registered in March 2001, so about a year old, and it has got lots of extras. It's got an electric sunroof, electric windows, remote central locking, air conditioning, ABS, alloys, and multi-CD changer, traction control and LWN, whatever that stands for. Have a look inside. Now the inside of this Vectra is in tip-top condition. I don't think any kids have been in here. If the rep had any, he'd certainly lost custody a long time since. The inside is got a funny knobbly velour, which is, I don't know whether I like it or not. It's probably what you only get on the CDX model. And all the inside plastic covers are somehow slimy, probably just the rep that was in here earlier. Oh, and the wooden dash has got to go. Still, apart from that, this car has done a lot of depreciating, but just how much? What, back to you in the studio, is the asking price?
There you go, Paul. You can confer. You've got 20 seconds to think about it. Start writing. A Vectra with all the knobs and whistles on it. Obviously, ex-fleet, hasn't done a huge mileage, been well looked at, good service history. What do you think it's worth? Multi-changer, air conditioning, alloys, everything you could possibly throw at a Vectra before they stop making them at Luton. Paul, tell me what you think it's worth.
£11,750.
£11,750. OK, right, let's see what the Vectra really was worth.
Oh, I'm sorry, there is one optional extra that I should have told you about, and that's the cheap Italian suit to hang in the back window that complements and completes that salesman's I left school with 5 O-levels and look at me now, look. The asking price is £9,700. I'm not bitter.
£9,700. You're so close, but you're just outside. So sorry about that, and commiserations, but you've got all these lovely presents to take away. That's it for this week's asking price. Here's another one for you at home. Just put these 3 cars in their correct order of value. We've got VW's Beetle, but that's the V5 Sports Edition. It's the Seat Ibiza Cupra 1.8. And finally, the Fiat Punto. The answer, of course, on our website, www.menandmotors.co.uk. See you next time.
That means carry on, that means cut. Secondly, it will cry because I can't, it will cry. That means wanker.